happening? Happy Friday. Hope all is well. Hope you missed me. Sorry I missed last week. Sometimes life gets a little busy, man. I apologize, but we're here. So we got some good stuff to talk about. So let's rock and roll. Corona Premier is cold out. I don't know where you may be, but I think we're probably sitting on negative zero, like -5 below zero here in the Chi. Headed back to Texas in probably less than 24 hours. They got rain, freezing rain there, so stay warm, stay safe wherever you may be. So hey, let's go. We're back, easing in the All-Star break. We got a couple of about 3 more weeks, the All-Star weekend. I think the game is on the 15th, so probably 3 weeks. All-Star lineups have been announced. Interesting lineups. I'll give it to you. We're going to talk about a few different things, but the All-Star lineups were announced. New format. I don't know how this is going to work, but for the West, traditional voting, not the draft, traditional voting. So for the West, you got Steph, Luka, SGA, Joker, Wemby. Can't really argue any of those. You got Ant-Man left off. You could argue he could be in there over Steph, but if you see how teams are playing Steph right now, you kind of got to respect it. For the East, you got Giannis, Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, and Maxey. No arguments there. There's a lot of guys that are coming up that we're going to see on the reserves. We'll talk about as we talk about some of these top teams. But so those are the lineups. But the format this year, it's a USA versus the world. And from my understanding, having read this a couple of times, there'll be 3 teams in a round robin. I think it's 2 US teams, 1 world team in a round robin format. So everybody plays everybody. The 2 teams with the best records, normally somebody's going to end up 3-0, 2-1, or then it becomes a point differential judgment on who advances. And then you have your championship. What I'm not quite sure about is how are they going to, I guess the reserves would make up the rest. Because right now, if I look at just the East versus the West, and you take those 10 players, Luka, SGA, Joker, and Wemby, and Giannis, that's 5. That's 1 team right there. And I don't know where the rest going to come from, but I'll put it like this. This is not going to look well. It's going to be a lot of noise, but the U.S. is not winning. If that's how they're going to have it adjusted, those are your past 4 to 5 MVPs right there. Now, if you'd have did North America, you might have got SGA on one side, but not happening. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. So as we get closer, I'll give you a little more info as the reserves come out in the first of February 1st. So we'll talk a little bit about that a little more then. What else is going on in the association? Jimmy Butler sprained his ACL. He's out, done for the season. Really crushes whatever hopes the Warriors had. And they weren't a championship team even constructed with the 3 that they had with Draymond, Jimmy Butler, and Steph. They just lacking a lot. The young guys aren't developing or giving as much as they should. It's been rumored that that's a Steve Kerr thing. He doesn't know how to develop young players. There's in the background, you got this whole thing with Jonathan Kuminga. Hadn't played since December 18th. Jimmy Butler gets hurt. He gets in the game, 21 points, 20 minutes. You really have to ask yourself, are you holding this kid back? What is personal? Who knows what it is going on with him and Steve Kerr, but they need to fix it because Kuminga got hurt in the second game back. He played 9 minutes. They're saying he has a sprained ankle and a knee, and apparently he's not getting an evaluation just yet. So my thoughts are he's already demanded a trade. They kind of shit on his trade demand. They was like, you got to have value to demand a trade. So it's a big mess in Golden State. I hope the kid gets out. He can go play somewhere because who knows what it is, but Golden State's always been a good organization, but sounds like it's definitely something going on with this guy and management. So now what are the Warriors going to do? So there's been rumors of Michael Porter Jr., which would be awesome to get him there. He would really feel that Klay Thompson void that they've been missing. They haven't had a knockdown shooter next to Klay since Klay left. So that could be interesting. Then there's the Giannis talk. There's been talk of Giannis going there, and you would have to put together a pretty sizable package to get Giannis. And it might even include a Jimmy Butler that's out for the season. So not sure where that's going to go, but we'll have to keep watching. But this one is definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. So my next topic is I've been trying to avoid this Lakers talk all season. So I guess we just gonna sit down and talk about it. So this week, probably fake news, but there was news around Jenny Buzz feeling that LeBron James was not appreciative of what they have done for him as a Laker. And primarily pointing to the fact that they went out and drafted his son in the second round. I didn't realize this. He does have, I thought it was a 2-year contract. He has a 4-year deal, 3 years guaranteed, 1 year, pick up the fourth option. My guess is they won't pick it up. And I'll talk about the scenarios, but he will be impacted by what happens with LeBron at the end of the season. He has a no trade clause in his contract. So the odds of him being traded in the next month are very slim, unless he just said, hey, I want out and this is where I want to go. Now, he could go back to Cleveland. Cleveland not as good as I thought they would be right now, so he could go back there and help Donovan. They have enough talent where he could slide in and maybe help them because they need a consistent number 2 scorer, and he could be that for Cleveland. Go home. Let my Lakers go, man. We've been captive for 8 years now. So the conversation has been, Jenny said that it seems like it was kind of fake news. Jenny came out and said LeBron's been great for the team. Then there was talk about, did LeBron make the Lakers relevant again? My first thought was no. Did he win a championship? Yes. But is that what, and I pulled up some numbers, is that what, if you're a superstar for the Lakers, it's not about a championship. Kareem, multiple. Magic, multiple, even combined. Fisher, zillions. Kobe, 5. LeBron, 1. AD, 1. And then people always say, well, Kobe had Shaq. Well, LeBron had AD. That's why they went out and traded all their young rookies to get AD, and it just didn't work. So I started looking at the numbers around that. So yeah, the last few years of Kobe's career, they missed the playoffs. The teams weren't good. They had a lot of money locked into Kobe. But in this case, Kobe earned it. So he had the right to do whatever he wanted. The Lakers had to do it. He gave him 20 years. He gave him 7 NBA finals, won 5, a great run. What did LeBron give us in 7 years? Missed the playoffs twice in these 7 seasons he's been there. We got 1 ring, went to 2 conference finals. We've been eliminated in the first round 3 times. That is not what superstardom means to the Lakers. And I'm a Lakers fan. Look around me. The expectations are much higher than just coming in. That's an average franchise. You come in, the Miami Heat, not even the Miami Heat. Cleveland, you win a championship, that's great. Blah, blah, you would get a statue. You're not getting a statue in LA for 1 championship. That's not what we do. You get 1 championship, you get a pat on the back. All right, thank you. Thank you for your service. Appreciate you. Going by. I don't think he made the Lakers better. The Lakers are always going to be relevant because they're the Lakers. That's the franchise. Did he improve because they missed the playoffs 3 times? Yes. In my eyes, they underachieved as a franchise. And that's not all on LeBron. They've had some terrible rosters. I think a lot of this is on management. The franchise was in chaos with the Denny Bus brothers, with Pelinka. Then you bring in LeBron, Rich Paul. There's been power struggles. They may not say it, but it's there. So I'm not going to put it all on LeBron, but I'm not going to say he made us super relevant. He improved it, but we're not relevant to the point where what we used to be. Now, will we be there with Luka? Yes. So it comes to a point of what do the Lakers do next? And I was with my boys the other night, man, and I had to apologize because I got heated. This conversation drives me through the roof. LeBron's been great for the franchise. The Lakers are a franchise that's always going to sell out. I don't care who's in that jersey. People are going to come. Especially now we have Luka. So the conversation went around, LeBron's playing well, yeah, but are there guys playing better than him that I take? So I just happened to bring up Michael Porter Jr. And the conversation was, could he fill the seats? Yes. Michael Porter Jr., people are going to follow him just because he's in that Lakers jersey. His jersey is going to sell. He would automatically be the number 2 jersey behind Luka. One, because he's going to produce like crazy. He's averaging 25 now. You put him next to Luka and AR, he'll average 27 because he ain't going to have nothing but open shots. They don't have a person on this team that even close to being the shooter that Michael Porter Jr. is. And I'm not saying he's going to end up with the Lakers, but I'm just saying what he could do. The Lakers would not fall off in any type of revenue situation, any type of sales because Michael Porter and LeBron's gone. I just don't feel that way. I think if you'd have said this maybe 3 years ago, yes. But as of today, it's not going to change much because it's LeBron fatigue. The Lakers are ready to move on and go to the next chapter. With that being said, what do they do next year? Do you bring LeBron back to a reduced contract? My answer to that is no. You definitely don't bring him back at his full salary because now you're back to where you are. You're stuck. My suggestion is y'all sit down in a room. LeBron, thank you, but this franchise needs to go somewhere else. And I'm of the belief that you ain't did nothing that great that we owe you to continue signing you. So at this point, I'm gonna tell him, hey, you are free to do whatever you want. We support you and your son, because we ain't signing him again. We're getting that roster spot back, right? He's coming back. And then we're going to go from there. So that's where I am. So there's a lot of noise. They're talking about it in the media. Jenny Buss said we got nothing but respect for LeBron, blah, 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 blah. It's great. It was a nice run. It helped us. To me, that was a bridge. I think if we can figure out this thing with Luka and put some pieces around him, the Lakers will, in a Lakers nation mind, the Lakers will be relevant again. They'll be back at the top. They'll be competing for NBA Finals, not for playing games. That's when the Lakers are relevant. Just because you make the playoffs is not relevant in my mind. But anyway, all right. So I'm off of that high chair. I got it out of my system. I'm done. We're going to keep moving around association. I'm not going through all the games. We missed a lot of games, but a lot of great games. I told you, man, I've been locked in on this Hornets team, man. And I don't know why. I think I just like watching them because they are fun to watch. LaBello's out there playing like he's at Chino Hills. Luka is good. I'm watching Brandon Minill turn into a stud. Miles Bridges is balling. They're just, you got Colin Sexton. They're just a fun team. They play a fast-paced game. For me, they're just kind of exciting to watch. But we had a lot of points, though, over the last couple of weeks. I'm going to talk about this one guy. I know I'm going to jack up his name. But Anthony Edwards had 55 during the week. Jaylen Brown dropped 41. Murray, 42. Keontae George had 43. Emmanuel quickly came off the bench, had 41. SGA had another 40 piece. Luka scored 40 twice. He had 40 and 39. But this other guy, Ben Sensah, I believe that's his name. He had 42, 6'6" guard out of Ohio State, first round pick in 2023, man. And Eli actually talked to me about it. We were kind of chopping it up on this. He sent me the highlights because I didn't see the whole game, but I was watching his 43. This kid can score from anywhere on the court. It's a less herky-jerky game, and I'm going to make a bold comparison to SGA, but that's how he scores. He can score anywhere. He was hitting mid-range. He was getting to the rim. He knocked down some threes. He was posting up. 4 out of 5 games, he had 25, 27, 43, and 26. somewhere this kid is a starter in the league. If you can score like that, that's not an accident. Like, this kid can really play. He can really score. So that's what we had. Nobody close to 300 points this week. We got 272 out of a Raptors-Warrior game. We had a terrible game. They only scored 186 points. The Knicks beat the Nets by 54 points. And the Knicks needed that win because they've lost like 5 in a row. Other highlights around the league, the Clippers. Probably won't talk about them because we talk about top 5, but the Clippers have won 14 of the last 17 games. Kawhi is looking like the old Kawhi, man. He's looking, if you haven't seen him, he's looking, and actually I'll take the SGA comment back on Ben. He plays more like Kawhi in that game. He really knows how to find his spots, knock down his shots. But Kawhi averaging 29 right now. So Kawhi he's been healthy, knock on wood, playing great. James Harden. This team, the Clippers, they might be inching up in the standings, slowly but surely. Another surprise, man. Clay's in the last month, in the month of January, Clay has had 4 games where he hit 6 threes. Clay is truly living his best life, kind of combined with his new girlfriend. They talking about moving in together, so that's a little stuff. Watching on social media, him and Meg having a good time. And then you got Russ, man. You know, Russ didn't have a job till almost the start of the season. Now he's kind of the glue for the Kings, man. He's averaging, 15, 6, and 7. He's played in all 45 games, leading the team in assists, 3rd in scoring. Like, Russ is a big part of that team right now, thinking about a guy who people are saying washed up and may not be playing anymore. So shout out to Russ, man. I'm happy to see it. So we'll go around. Now we're going to get into the good stuff, man. We start talking about, our top 5 in the East and the West, and we're not a lot of movement, but some teams are sliding down a notch or two. Coming in the East, the Sixers, I had the Sixers at number 5. But the Cavs have started to figure it out. It seems like they're playing a little bit better and working their way up. I think they actually tied with the Sixers, or a game behind the Sixers, for the 5th spot right now in the Eastern Conference. The Sixers they've won some games, like they beat the Rockets, but then they lose to the Suns. They lost to the Cavs twice. So the Cavs may end up getting them, man. We talk about this next week. The Cavs could be that number 5 team. Number 4, the Knicks. Previously were number 3 over the Raptors, but the Knicks hit a slide, man. They lost 7 of the last 10. And they're losing they lost to the Mavs, to the Suns, to the Kings. You know, we talked about it early. They were going to be playing the Pistons a few times. They've lost those matchups with the Pistons. We didn't talk about them in this trade scenario, but a lot of talk about Giannis and the Knicks. And this wouldn't be a bad thing because right now the Knicks don't look like the team they are. And they have a lot of pieces. So you could package up Towns and Anunoby or Bridges and a pick or two, and you could get Giannis. Like, they have some pieces that they could get rid of. And I think because of the guys they have on the bench, you still got Josh Hart. This would work very well for them to bring in a Giannis to get them over the hump. Because even as good as Towns is, he's not a consistent 2. He does dumb stuff defensively. He gets in foul trouble. So he's trying to play himself back into games on a regular basis. Whereas you get a Giannis, now I hate to say it, Brunson's a 2, and that's a pretty damn good 2, and you got Giannis as a 1. So who knows? We could see a Knicks trade. Number 3 is Toronto, the Raptors, and they just kept winning, man. The Raptors have won back 7 games from Detroit, who's at 1. They played defense. They had a couple of tough losses. They got 4 solid guys we always talk about. They won't have an all-star, but they continue to win games. They're similar to the next team, number 2 at Boston. They're just solid. Just a solid team. Will they make any noise? Are they a championship contender? No. But they're just going to hang around and be advancing the playoffs. Maybe I can see them getting to the second round for the first time since they won the championship. Number 2 is Boston. And Boston, man, shout out to Jaylen Brown. He's on the All-Star team. We'll talk about him in the MVP, but Jaylen Brown has really put the team on his shoulders, man. And Jaylen Brown's averaging about 30, and he's playing with guys like White is playing good. I forgot the big guy's name, but no all-stars. It'll be one all-star on this team, but they continue to win. But Mazzulo, he's a great coach, and that's another thing. They just fundamentally sound. They're gonna play the way they play. They're gonna play fast. They're gonna shoot threes, but they play defense. Plus 7-point differential. They play a lot of defense, and that's why they're winning games. And I have them at the number 2 seed. Number 1. Still holding on, Mikey, your Detroit Pistons. And a lot of this, man, give it to the Cade Cunningham and his leadership this year, man. You can see, you saw him evolving last year. The numbers are the same, but I just think it's the leadership that he has on the court that's really has made a difference, as well as as Duran's his improvements. I think he should get an All-Star nod, though. I think Detroit should have 2. I think Jalen Duran should make the All-Star game as a reserve. And consistent so far. Again, knock on wood. They've had guys come back for injuries, but that starting lineup has been together throughout the season, and that makes a difference. They won 8 out of the last 10. Again, another team. They lead the East in point differential at plus 7.5, about 7.4, next to over Boston at 7.0. Detroit, I don't really think, no, unless the Knicks make this move, that's the best team in the East right now. I don't see them kind of going back unless injuries kick in, and then that changes everything. But that's the East. Then we go over to West, and it's more the bottom part of the West that changes. The top half is not changing at all. Number 5 right now in the West, I have the Suns. Dylan Brooks and Devin Booker have been playing well. I'd be interested to see if Devin Booker, he should be a reserve. Man, you might have an argument for Brooks too, but there's so much talent in the West. They've started this guy. They've changed the lineup. Colin Gillespie is starting, little 6'1" guard out of Villanova next to Book. And they won 3 in a row. They beat the Sixers, the Nets. They had a big win over the Knicks. So I got them over the Lakers, man. They play better defense. Lakers don't play any defense, so I knocked the Lakers out of the top 5. They're number 6. Number 4 is Houston, man, and I think this team is underachieving. I've seen they have a lot of talent. I watch them from time to time. They just lose games they shouldn't lose. They lost to the Kings. I can understand the Thunder. That's a close one. They lost to the Sixers. They got to win these games if they want to move up in the Western Conference. And they're losing some games that I think they should be winning, man. They got all the talent. You got a big. You got Durant. You got young guard play. I'm not going to blame this all on not having Fred VanVleet because I think they have a lot of talent. Number 3 is Denver, man. And shout out to this team right now because Denver's won 7 out of the last 10, and they're just holding on to buy time. They're about 2 weeks away, maybe 2.5 weeks from getting Joker back. And they've done a great job. Peyton Watson and Tim Hardaway. Peyton Watson is averaging 23 for the month of January. Tim Hardaway is averaging 15. They filled in this void, man, and these guys have stepped up. We knew Jamal Murray was going to step up, but Gordon's back, Bron is back. So they're covering it, man, the Joker gets back. And I think once Joker gets back, we're really going to have the conversation, is this the best team in the West at full health? Because we haven't seen that all year. We have not seen them at 100%. We will, though, coming in the next few weeks. They've had some wins. They beat the Mavs. They beat the Pels, the Bucks. They lost a crazy game to the Hornets. But you start playing with the Hornets, you get yourself in a track meet, you're going to lose. Number 2 for now is San Antonio. Wemby's back in the starting lineup. They're 6 games back of OKC. OKC finally won a game against them, knocked them off, beat them pretty big, about 20. But this San Antonio team, sort of like I was talking about the Rockets, they lose some games they shouldn't be losing. They did lose a couple of close ones to the Rockets and the Thunder, and that's kind of understandable, but they got to learn how to win the games you're supposed to win. But I think they're going to stay right here. I think they got to fight off Denver. I think they're about a 2-game difference right now. But again, Denver will be healthy and they'll be coming back. Number 1, OKC. And barring injuries, man, they're going to win the West. You know, I think They lost a few games. They're 13. They got 8 losses, so I think we're done now. They can just play. No more talk about the best record in the league or all-time best records, breaking in records. That's over with. Just go out and win games. They're still dominating on defense. They figured out the Spurs. They got win against the Spurs. They beaten the Rockets. They actually shot, when they beat the Spurs, they shot the 3 very well. I think the Spurs only had them by +6, which is, considering how they've been playing, good. They still lead the NBA with a +13.5 point differential. So right now, OKC is the team to beat. The defending champs look really, really good, man. I don't know who could dethrone them, but we'll see. We'll see right now. They're my favorites right now. They're the favorites. So we got through the team. Like I said, the teams to look out for. Cleveland is coming, and just to kind of wrap that part up, Cleveland is coming back slowly but surely. And keep an eye on the Clippers. Clippers came in last night to beat LA. They're just a better team than Lakers. Clippers won, like I said, 14 out of last 17, and they're marching ahead. Kawhi's playing great, Harden's playing. They might get 2 guys on the reserve. Now to our rookies, man. And we got about 7 or 8 guys that have been pretty solid. I went through this, and I got Fears and Harper. I know we've been talking about them all year, kind of sitting on the outside. But these guys are pretty tough, the first 5. Derek Queen, averaging 12, 8, and 4 for the season. He's kind of slowed down, only 1 double-double in the last 5 games, but he contributes, man, night in and night out. Solid, like I said, be around. Another one of him and Coward, I kind of right there together. Coward's averaging 15. I got him at 4. For January, he's averaging 14, 6, and 3. He's shooting like 47% from the field, 41 from 3, 92 from the free throw line. So that's solid for your rookie. But for all the rookies, the next month, the next 30 days is going to be that pivotal as they hit the All-Star break, right? Their college season, they haven't played this long. Night in and night out, fatigue's going to kick in, so we're going to see how they turn this corner. Number 3 is VJ. VJ's still doing VJ-type things, man. He had a monster dunk the other night. 16, 5, and 4, shooting 40, 45, 35, 75. I like him improve. He had the same problem with Cooper Flag. I think they need to get these free throws up to around 80. But VJ, again, he's in a tough position because they got so many guys. There's a lot of shots to get around, but I think he's done very well picking his spots. He's still having some 20-point games that he's, through the month of January. So I like VJ at 3. So the next 2 guys, every week they go back and forth. So for this round, man, right now by a nudge, I got Kneppel at 1 and Coop at 2. Cooper's averaging 18-8, just a hair under 9, 6 and 4. Month of January, he's averaging 17, but he had 1 bad game. He had a 6-point game. Right now, his overall game, man, he's polished. Playing him at the 1 might have got him off to a slow start, but it really helped him develop his skills, like his court vision, his passing ability. He can handle the rock. That probably helped him a lot going into the season, so he got to see the game a little bit differently. So now he's back at his normal wing position, and he's been dominant. But right now, I like to see him shoot. He's shooting about 30% from the 3, 76 from the free throw line. I like to see those numbers improve, man, because the boy in front of him can shoot lights out. Kneppel, 19, 5, and 3. Lately, he's been slowing down. The 3 hasn't been dropping, but he's still shooting. He's shooting 7 or 8 a game, man. And the kid can shoot, but he can just play basketball. Like I said, I'm watching the Hornets a lot, and the kid he's not as athletic as Coop, but he's fundamentally sound, man. There's a kid out of Milwaukee Lutheran. We know this school. We've been up there. We played up there. He's just skill set wise, man, solid. 100%. The kid can play. He's only going to get better, man. It'll be interesting though if they trade LaMelo. That's going to impact him because LaMelo, he gets a lot of open shots because of what LaMelo does, dribbling, his penetration skills, and being able to move the ball around. So we need to keep watching. If they make some type of move, it will definitely impact Kneppel. Now for the big boys, man. And again, this is another race that I really, with Joker out, and I always remember if a guy is injured, I remove him for the time being. Like when Giannis was out, Giannis was leading, but his comeback has been a little slow, and he's so frustrated right now. He went off about guys being selfish the other night. So Giannis and Joker is out for now. Giannis is still eligible, but he's just not there, man. The Bucks aren't playing well. His numbers aren't as good as they had been before the injury. So he's out. So number 5 is Luka. He's leading the league, man. I still, as much as they drive me insane, I watch the Lakers. Luka's leading the league in scoring. He's doing crazy stuff every night, 8 and 9. He just got this team on his back, man, for now. So we'll see what they do. But Luka, I got Luka at 5. Not a whole lot. We know his game. It's only going to get better. Maxey, man, has just carved out his way, man. Maxey's the best player on the Sixers. 34-7. He's an all-star. I think he's starting this year in an all-star game. And again, he's kind of carrying the Sixers, man. But I think it's just the in and out of Embiid. That breaks up. I know he can't play back-to-backs, but that hurts Maxey because it's consistency, man. Lineup consistency is a real thing, and it matters in the NBA. So that's been hurting him, but Maxey's holding it down with the Sixers. Number 3 is Cade. And I like Cade just because, again, the leadership from him. He's second in assists. He's got his team number 1. They held it down most of the season. 6-1. He sat out a couple of games in January, but 6-1 when he's playing in January. Big game tonight against Houston. So I'm really curious to see how that goes because they're going to defend him pretty well. Houston has great defenders, especially those wing defenders. Now, number 2, man, I got to give it to Jaylen Brown. Excuse me. I got to give it to Jaylen Brown. We didn't know what the Celtics were going to look like when we found out Tatum was hurt and done for this year. Jaylen Brown has increased his scoring from 22, and I was a little surprised. I thought he averaged more, but that was Tatum close to 30. Jaylen Brown went from 22 to 29 points. He's about 30 a game, 37-5 right now. He averaging 31 in January, shooting 49% field goals, 36 from the 3. And his team is second, man. And this is not a star-studded roster he's playing with. But he's had some games where he's had to step up and drop 40. He has some 40 pieces where he's like, all right, we're not losing this game. We're going to win. And he's been playing, man. So shout out to Jaylen Brown. He's an all-star, first-team all-star. Probably will be all-NBA this year. And then number 1 is SGA. There's no more to talk about. I'm not going to say it's getting boring. But the dude is so consistent, you know what you're getting. And we're really going to have to start talking about him being one of the greatest, man, at this pace that he's going. The way he scores, he's going to be one of those 2 guards we talked about. And the difference is, though, with him, it's not a flashy scoring. It's kind of annoying. It's like we talk about him being herky-jerky, he shoot about 10 free throws a game. But he knows how to score. And he knows, he can score from anywhere on the court. The 3 is not the greatest, but he will knock down some threes if you leave him wide open. So SGA right now, man, he might, Joker come back and Joker is his only competition for the MVP this year in my eyes. He's the only person that could take this and get it back. On the outside, looking in that top 5, I think we got to talk about Anthony Edwards. And we got to talk about Kawhi and Giannis. I think those 3 could, depending if their teams can kind of get better in the second half of the season, they can move up a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, hey, that's it for today. Hold on. Let me give you my last, some people to watch that I've been looking at for your plays, man. And just squeeze them in anything you want. Anthony Black, his points over are always good. Cooper Flag rebounds. Over, he normally comes in around 6.5, take the over. Kneppel, he's been shooting poorly, but if you can catch him at 2.5, 3.5 on the 3-pointers, take it. Same with Steph. Take him over 3.5. And watch Clay. If you see Clay at around 2.5, take his over 3. For points, I like Sengun over at Houston. I'll take him a lot. Avita up in Portland. take his over on points, and I like Canepa on his over on points. And I've been taking Buzella's, but now Giddy is back. So in the next few weeks, take Giddy's PRA. Take the over on Giddy's PRA. So there you go. There's some tips, man. So, hey, love y'all. Thank y'all as always for supporting. Tell your friends about us, like and subscribe, man, and we'll see you next week.